Checking no static. Moly. All right, episode 1, season 1 of
Episode 1, what are you talking about? This is episode 2.
Well, okay, no, yeah, well, episode... No, I mean, I guess for the video podcast.
Oh, video podcast.
Yeah,
oh, okay. So that's what we're going with.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. Where we talk about just random genres. Anybody got any ideas? Send us a topic and we'll talk about it, as long as it's not the two dreaded topics: religion, politics. There's enough of negativity in those things. We're going to focus on the fun stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, dreaded is put it lightly. I'm sure there's other words that describe those two topics, but
right.
We don't get into that.
Yeah. So, first topic, hair metal.
Hair metal, huh?
Yeah. Where to begin? For us, it's a second home, for music, honestly.
Well, we were talking about this a little bit before we recorded here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I listen to a lot of like rock and metal, and hair metal has always been one that's been kind of under the radar a little bit. I mean, there's bands I listen to in that genre, but
right.
It's funny because I don't really know how it really even began, that term or phrase, how it came to be.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, it's considered a music genre like nowadays, but it's not just the music, it's the visuals. I mean, hence the name. I mean, yeah, hair metal, I guess, as a genre was what I guess you would say classic rock. Or hard rock.
No, I mean, it was metal.
Right.
It's funny because a lot of the stuff that they sing about, not necessarily metal, but yeah, it's a tough thing to explain.
I mean, yeah, because you got bands like Poison, which I guess I wouldn't consider metal.
No.
But then you have bands that, I mean, what's one of the heavier ones? All right.
Well, I'll give you some of the
Motley
big ones.
Crue, I guess, would be heavier.
Well, yeah, they were considered hair metal.
Right.
You got Twisted Sister,
right.
They're a little bit more heavy. They're a big one.
Mm.
You got Poison, you got Cinderella, you got, bands like that.
Right.
And I should rephrase what I said earlier and said, like, I know I said that I don't know how the term came into being, but it was mostly based off of the long hair that they were.
Right. Yeah. It's not just a musical movement. It's a visual.
Yeah.
I mean, back in I guess in the 60s and 70s, you had amazing bands, but in terms of their stage presence, it wasn't so much focused on the garb. It was more focused on how they acted on stage. You look at guys like David Bowie, like the Doors. Their antics on stage were crazy, but it's not like they came on stage dressed crazy. David Bowie did to some extent. Sometimes, though. But you look at hair metal, and that took it to a whole new level.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean,
they were nuts.
You got guys dressing like...
Basically,
almost like drag queens.
Yeah. That's what Poison... If you look at that first Poison album, I still remember this. I looked at the album cover, and I'm like, man, I wonder who these hot women are on the front. And, I found out, of course, they were guys. I'm like, oh, well, shit.
And then Visual K was born in Japan.
Well,
no, that's a whole nother...
That's a whole nother ballpark.
But, so you got this genre that basically spans almost, you could say, pop rock, rock, metal, hard rock, anything. I mean, like you said, you got bands from all different kinds of hair metal. It's not I wouldn't consider it so much as a musical genre as it is more of a movement.
That's a good way to put it, I think. It's not really one genre, per se, because it could be more hard rock, it could be more metal, it could be poppy, it's hard to really categorize it. And there are people out there, I know for a fact, Eddie Trunk, who hate that term.
What, hair metal?
Oh yeah, yeah, and I honestly I get it because when I listen to rock or metal, I think about all the different subgenres that there are, and I'm like, I understand the need for it, but at the same time, it's like can't we just simplify it to like rock and metal? That's the way I think it.
True.
To an extent, because it's tough to distinguish the differences between how each different band sounds. Like, because one band can sound fast and heavy, their band can sound slow and gloomy, and
I guess hair metal is a good example of that. Like, I guess we don't necessarily have to classify it as hair metal. Okay, so yeah, that's the way the guy is dressed in the band. But then, you could have, bands like Poison. Why do they have to be under hair metal? Okay, so that's just a rock band, and that's how they dressed.
More or less, yeah. That's how I see them as.
Or, like you said, Twisted Sister's a little heavier. So they're a hard rock band.
Well,
why does it have to be, hair metal? That's just the way they dress, okay, but that's hair metal, the hair part of it isn't related to metal.
Well, and eventually, too, as the band's, their careers went on, they did come out of the dressing garb eventually.
Yeah, as the 90s came on, especially like bands like Metallica, they cut their hair and went for the 90s.
Well,
the 90s.
That was when the grunge movement was starting to come into effect, and I'm sure.
Let's throw on some Twisted Sister.
We'll
okay.
We'll talk about
which song.
Type it in. Let's see what YouTube deems as the most popular Twisted Sister song. Take your bet before it plays.
Let's see if we can guess. I'm
gonna say we're not gonna take it.
Yeah.
Nope. Is it?
Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
Everybody's got their real big hit. As I was gonna say though, I think eventually we'll touch on how the 90s, that was more or less the end of rock and metal to an extent.
Right.
Because that's when grunge came into effect, and that's when music was changing. For some people, it could be better. For others, worse.
See, there we go. Yeah, I mean, we look at, moving into like the 90s with the grunge movement, metal was actually really starting to hit Europe. We have, if you look at like a lot, even like some of the stuff that we've listened to and some of the bands that we've seen, they were coming out of Europe in the 90s. Metal, that was just gaining a lot of popularity over there.
Yeah.
Whereas over here it was fading out into
obscurity.
Yeah. The 90s had some good music.
No,
I'm not saying that
sure.
it didn't, but it was just completely different.
Yeah.
Reinvented.
Yeah. Funny enough, that's when we were born in the 90s, and we listened to stuff that was way earlier than that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess you could say like we're 90s kids, that whole, term. But if you think about it, at least the way I look at it, consider us more of like 2000s kids. I mean, what were you doing at the age of 5? Were you really listening to music anyway? I mean, we didn't. I mean, what was our Baby Shark back in the day?
Oh my God!
Back in the day,
hamster dance.
The hamster dance.
Honestly, the music I grew up with, I was listening to it in the car on the way to school, and it was the Beatles and Beatles, Traveling Wilburys, and Bee Gees, because that's what my mom listened to.
Right, that's what your parents were listening to. See, I was kind of like, on my dad's side, I remember the first 2 albums I listened to. One was Twisted Sister, and the other was Rat.
That was like...
Out of the Cellar album. And then, on my mom's side, she listened to rock too, but it was mostly like R&B. So like I was listening to like old school like Tupac, Biggie Smalls.
My God.
It's not stuff that I grew up liking, but like anybody throws those songs on the radio, it's like I know them by heart now. Just cause that's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, it's hair metal, it's an interesting topic, and I actually want to do some research on it in terms of like how that term came into being. And for those who are watching this, leave in the comments if you know what hair metal is, or if you have your opinion on it, and just
Right.
let us know what you think of it.
I mean, this is kind of like a learning experience for all of us. I mean, like the whole reason I even started my channel as a whole was to share different types of music with different people.
Yeah.
And I've met a bunch of different people. Dave introduced me to music. So I guess at the end of every segment, since this is kind of new to us, go ahead and pick a favorite hair metal band you think people don't know about. And, and explain it a little bit.
A hair metal band that people don't really know about?
Like people who maybe know hair metal or don't know it so much, what's a band you would introduce? If someone came up to you and said, hey, what's hair metal like? What do you think? Who would you recommend? Maybe not somebody so commercial. Obviously, there's enough information about Motley Crue out there. If people wanted to listen to that, they could. What's a more obscure band that you like from the hair metal genre?
Probably the same one that you love.
Oh, damn it! You already picked mine. No.
Girl School.
You mean
the Brittany Fox?
Yeah, Brittany Fox.
Brittany Fox. Yeah. The band Brittany Fox, and the song is called Girl School. And of course they got other stuff, but that's the one that I know. Even for me, personally, I just they're a band that I think is one of the more underrated of that genre.
Right.
And actually another one I'll give is Lizzie Borden. There's another one.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So.
And they totally went crazy with the garb, too.
Well, yeah. It's, yeah. If you look up the one music video for them, it's, what's the song called? Me Against the World is what it's called.
That was on MTV at one point.
That was.
Believe that.
Yeah, or VH1 Classic.
Yeah, VH1 Classic, whatever it was back in the day. Before they started playing
junk, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Absolute garbage. Yeah.
I guess if I had to pick one, and we just added one of their songs to our set list, I think I'd pick Wasp.
Wasp?
Yeah. I mean, look at their antics on stage.
Well,
I mean,
they're much darker and that's actually interesting how you put them in the hair metal. Because
I mean, I don't know where else they would classify as genre. I mean, I guess their music is hard rock, but their image, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess it's kind of hair metal. It's just like the side of hair metal that wasn't.
Honestly, I'd almost put them in shock rock. To an extent.
Yeah, I could see that.
To an extent, like in terms of stage.
At
presence.
least, yeah. Their music may be a little heavier.
Yeah.
But in terms of what they did on stage, with what's the singer's name?
Blackfield Lawless.
Yeah, and he comes on stage with those leather pants he always wore. With a big saw, arm, bracelet things and.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, and it's a shame they don't do it anymore. But. Or tour here in the U.S.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for obvious reasons, right now, especially. I guess,
but well, but it's a COVID.
But no, even if there wasn't COVID,
I was gonna say I think they haven't been in the U.S. in over 10 years, probably.
Or
something like that.
And why should they? Because they know they get more money overseas.
Right.
They get better crowds overseas.
Right. I wish we could tour overseas.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that'd be a blast.
But yeah, I guess if you had to learn from this part, check out Brittany Fox. Awesome, just hard rock, great party tunes. I mean, you're gonna be singing along by the time you get to the end of the song. You're gonna be nodding your head.
Yeah.
Wasp, if you're a little bit more crazy, a little edgier.
Edgier. Wow.
If that's still a term nowadays.
That was.
Well, I mean, that 90s edgy emo kid. No.
I even watched you for saying that edgier. God,
Go ahead.
That's a term that I absolutely. I do not like that term.
Sharp.
Sharp. Okay.
So we're gonna quickly touch on this topic because it was recommended a couple of times. Gangster rap, which neither one of us really know too much about.
Other than well, God, what are their names? Or the one group,
Fetty Wap.
NWA.
Fetty Wap. Yeah, I remember that name, but I mean, what? I
Who?
don't even. Fetty Wap. I think I'm pronouncing these wrong.
What
I
the
guarantee
fuck is
it. I don't
Fetty
know.
Wap?
It's like I don't know. It's some guy. I think right.
Fetty Wap.
Fetty Wap.
Fetty Wap.
If you out there in the YouTube know what Fetty Wap is, please explain.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I heard that he likes fettuccine alfredo, so that's where you get the Fetty from.
Fettuccine Alfredo.
Fet-
Huh.
Are you fed up with it?
Wow.
I'd like to think how someone came up with that name, but I guess there's some. Yeah, whatever happened to Lil? Remember when I think now maybe it's popular too. I don't know, but I know like a couple of years ago, all these rappers started coming out, and you put Lil in front of your name, Lil.
Well, like Lil Wayne or
Lil Wayne,
Lil John or whatever.
Lil John, Lil Uzi.
God,
I know
shocked
there's more.
I'm shocked. I mean, I know who those are, but
You're right. That's what I'm saying. But like Gangster Rap's kind of hard. I don't even know.
no, I honestly don't know anything really other than the one band. Like I said, I know is like NWA back in the day.
Yeah, that's early stuff.
It is.
They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame somehow. I didn't know they did rock and roll, but
let's
Maybe-
not touch on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame today, because that
right.
that's
We
that's
said
gonna
we're
be
not
a-
talking politics.
That's gonna be a whole video.
Or don't poke the anthill with a stick.
Wait, what? What is that? Is that a song?
No.
Oh god,
That's just a term that I
I mean,
think is again.
I don't even know nowadays. I mean, they got shit.
I'm
I'm sure you've heard of. Have you heard of WAP? Yeah.
WAP.
WAP.
Wap?
Have you?
What?
No? Anybody? No?
No.
Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion.
I mean, I've heard of
Beast.
Cardi B. I don't know who.
I mean-
that is.
She's I say she's gangster rap. Her music's pretty fucking hardcore. But
Hardcore, huh?
well, in terms of
about
like,
as hardcore as my right toe.
well, I think the first 20 or 30 lyrics to the words of the song are there's some whores in this house. It repeats it like
You know,
5 times.
going back to
There's some whores in this house.
going back to NWA.
Don't say it.
No,
Don't say it. No.
even though it's like they're a band that I didn't listen to, I know the influence they had on rap as a whole. Like,
Right.
in terms of what they were singing about, what they were,
Yeah,
doing.
I think they were kind of like the first, like,
They were one of the.
I don't know how you want to say it, like raunchy? Like the first to
Raunchy's-
just come out with like pure vulgarity. Like where they weren't afraid to like have anything censored.
Well, they were
Like-
they're a very politically charged band.
Right. But like
Basically.
they like whatever they believed in or what they said. I mean they said it how it was. They got their message across, like they didn't try and
I mean-
sugarcoat it. I mean hence their name. I mean we
Yeah.
all know what it stands for, so
Yeah, we're not gonna
I mean,
say
they-
what it stands for.
you ain't got
If any of you out there are aware of who NWA is, and you probably are, you know what the subtext is.
yeah.
But, yeah, other than that,
Alright, so,
I don't know any other.
Favorite what gangster rap artist would you recommend to all the viewers out there?
Considering that I don't even know anything about gangster rap other than NWA, I got nothing. Other than NWA, if you're really into that.
Yeah,
This is a show where we're supposed to be talking about metal and anime, and yet here we are talking about gangster rap.
Metal Anime Maniacs, if you can read that from that far.
No,
Ma'am.
I don't think they can read that from here. If they can, they got.
On to the
Very
next
nice.
one.
Video editing.
Okay, yeah, this one falls into our middle category here. Slice of Life, which you said you didn't even know what it was.
No, I honestly, I don't know what that is.
It's just it's a I guess you could say a subgenre, or is it a full genre? It's probably a full genre of anime.
Yes, it's a full genre of anime.
There you go. So
think of like the Japanese version of a sitcom, where
Yeah.
it's just about their lives.
right, yeah. So I mean, hence the title, slice of life. It's you're basically seeing an everyday kind of situation in the character's eyes. So I mean, I guess like you've seen K-On! So
Yeah.
that's
That would be considered a slice
part
of life.
slice of life.
Huh.
Interesting. I'm trying to think of another one that you've probably seen, but along those lines, it's like stuff that's like real, I guess you could say.
More grounded in reality.
Yeah, I mean like I know you said you were watching a Kami Ga Kill or the Fate series.
Well,
those ain't slice of life,
No, yeah.
I mean,
I honestly didn't know that's what that was though. It's basically just about normal life, more or less.
yeah.
So like
everyday stuff.
a good example, kind of, would be like Your Lie in April or whatever.
Perfect example. Yeah, that would be a slice of life. Yeah. I guess not Violet Evergarden.
Well,
It might be like tagged as that, but it's not like a full on. But yeah, no, Your Lie in April. Did you watch it? How do you know about that?
I watched the first couple episodes of that show, and for what I watched, I liked it, but I kind of stopped at that one just because, for me personally, the animation was just a little.
The animation is.
It's different. It's very different. Yeah. So I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there who like that, but
it's a really good show though. The more it goes on. That
really?
Ending episode, anyone who's watched it knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's basically like a different version of Violet Evergarden. Like in terms of the same feel
like
that
feeling,
you get from it. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's a tearjerker all the way.
Interesting.
But yeah, so that's like a slice of life. You got any you would recommend that you've seen?
For a slice of life, yeah. I mean, considering that I didn't even know what the
genre
not really was. I mean,
I'm sure you've seen. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, Your Lie in April's pretty good from what I saw.
Yeah.
That's one I guess I would recommend, or K-On! But even K-On!, if any of you out there know what that is, you know how insane that show can get.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy.
But that's actually one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, it's pretty wholehearted.
So I don't know. You got recommendations?
I mean, since I guess you would say like K-On! Or Your Lie in April. Well, K-On!'s from the same studio, but I guess I would say, shit, I don't even know. I was gonna kind of say Your Lie in April, then you kind of shocked me with you saying that. But I guess I'll have to nominate Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
It was fairly popular. It's from the same studio as K-On!, Kyoto Animation, which was the studio that got burnt down, unfortunately. So, it was one of those. But that show's great. It's a little bit of mix of. I guess it's a slice of life, but it's like a comedic slice of life.
Okay.
Very funny. Lots of funny shit in there. A lot of adult references, so I guess it's not really, I guess, a kid's show. There was actually this story I read, and you can look it up, where somebody, I guess, at a school library, one of the teachers or the librarians actually brought in the whole manga series.
Really?
That was like the only, like the school didn't have like a
manga section.
A section, yeah, but they brought in one or two of the mangas. And
I mean,
I remember the parents were complaining about how bad it was because their kid rented it or something.
Well, I was gonna say you're bringing manga into the school. I'm shocked they even got away with that.
I'm surprised Barnes and Noble's had it when we went down to Columbus.
Well, I mean, I can see them a little bit more because they're an actual bookstore.
Right.
I mean, just because they sell they sell really any kind of book.
Yeah, I guess I just wasn't expecting that.
Like an actual manga section.
Yeah, you don't see that kind of stuff here too much. So I guess anybody that's new to this like us, me and you, we just kind of started watching anime, a year and a half ago?
Literally, probably like last year.
We were introduced to it from Mike,
who's
got his own podcast, who we mentioned in the last episode, who don't know what the name the name of it is. But
Yeah, you got me.
shout out to him, I guess.
Yeah. Mike, if you're out there watching this, like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit.
Yeah. Hit that bell notification right now. No.
Yeah. Right. Because that's exactly what we're doing here.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I guess anybody who, like, who's new that like we are, like, Barnes and Nobles has like a really good selection.
Yeah.
Like, I know we were
surprised.
We were kind of pressed for time, but like I didn't see if they even have a DVD section. I mean, like they had a DVD section, but I don't know if they had actual like anime.
Yeah,
they had like that whole room dedicated to it.
Well, section anyways.
Yeah, and they have anime merch.
Yeah.
I bought that Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
Ghibli, pardon me, cup, and I mean they had a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I remember they had like I mean, I know Pokemon's commercialized, but they had a bunch of that. They had Digimon. It was a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
You know.